Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 on Calmsden Farm. Right, so it's June, 1 month after the last episode. I put all the bales away and now I'm just checking the fields. So as you can tell, these two fields now, or these three fields, sorry, are now fully grown and they've gone to head. So we can start doing some serious hay. We really can. And they actually look pretty good. We got 98% yield bonus in this one and in that one over there. But then this one, because it wasn't fully fertilised, it's 75, which is still pretty good. And it's going to be a big difference compared to what we used to. All the grass that I've done so far, the silage from last year and the hay from last year and the hay in the last episode was all done on fields that weren't maxed out like this. So hopefully we should see a big difference. Now, this is going to be a big job. It really is. I've got to do 3 fields. I'm going to make hay out of them all. And I've got to obviously have some help from Courseplay doing this. I'll be honest, I'm probably going to try and do the mowing myself, but I might have to jump cut a little bit of it. But we are in June, so next month we are going to be focusing on the crops, because I predict, if we just have a quick look at the calendar, you can see that we've got barley and canola in the fields. So July, August time is when we should be getting ready to harvest. Now, I actually think it's going to be July. So with that being said, this is the only time we can do grass, so we really do need to focus on it. And then I've got a feeling we're going to get a serious amount of hay from this. I'm fingers crossed anyway. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to use this area over here to store some hay, because I feel like it's a little bit easier to get into coming in from this entrance. So we'll try and store it in this bigger shed. I think it makes sense. And I did end up buying the autoload trailer, so I went with the blue colour, and I think it looks pretty sweet. It is a hefty trailer, so only the class is going to be able to pull this. It really is quite a big trailer, much bigger than the one we've had before. But do you know what? I really like this, and it's another 4D mod, so it should go well with the Heston bales. So I think all we need to do is just crack on with it. This is going to be a big job, like I said, but hopefully we'll have a serious amount of hay. And we will be using the autoload trailer. That is a definite. It's going to be a lot to obviously get through. Now, what I am thinking about doing is starting on maybe one of the fields up at the top, get it mowed, and then what we can do is set up the Ford to go around on auto drive to Ted, and then we can mow the next one. And we'll go through it like stages. I think that's the most efficient way to do it anyway. Oh, that's a tight squeeze. So let's unfold the front and let's unfold the rear, and we'll get set up and we'll get cracking on with this. So I'm hoping we see a big difference now with the amount that we get off. So that's the rear mower set up, and now the front mower. So off we go. We'll leave a bit of a headland from the fence and obviously the hedges. Good thing about this mower is it does work through it pretty quick. We always miss it a little bit like because it's the butterfly mowers, but they do work a treat. And you can see in the distance that the canola, it pretty much just looks ready to harvest. It's right about there. So I would be surprised if it's not ready in the next month and we have to wait another month. I would be very surprised. So it looks like we are getting more grass. Now, obviously, as you can tell, I'm not going right into the corners, but these do look like already that is a lot more grass coming off, which is good news. Like I said, if we really needed to, we can always mow the field to the left of us if we don't get any sheep. But we could actually get sheep now. All we need to do is get a trailer for water, and we could actually get some sheep. So that is an option. I mean, I've been putting it off for a bit just because of that trailer, but we've got 17,000. We should make some good money off silage if we end up doing another cut, which I'm hoping to do. So all this is going to be for hay, like I said, but if we do it all again and get a second cut, then that's all going to be for silage. Now, we could make silage in a pit, but I don't think we've really got the money or the tools to do that at the moment, unfortunately, unless we get a loading wagon. In a way that would be easier, but it just costs a bit of money, and I think even though it is a pretty good idea to put silage in a bunker and then we can sell it like that, it just depends on how much money we can find to get a loading wagon. Because I think the cheapest are around 30,000, but we probably want something with a little bit more oomph than that, maybe a 50,000 pound one. I think that'd hold a lot more. No, I probably should have done a second headland in all fairness. So what I'm going to do is just swing around again and do a second one. Just don't want to miss these little bits in the middle, but I always end up doing it. If I turn smooth, then I always seem to be okay, but it really does depend on the actual edge of the field. Sometimes you can't turn that smooth because the edge of the field is obviously usually like a 90-degree angle. I do enjoy the grass work though in Farming Simulator, always have. I think if you have to put it in order, what I enjoy the most, and I have to say probably baling. I enjoy baling the most. I do like that. I think there's just so much to do with it. The loading, unloading, obviously depending on what you're doing, tedding, windrowing, mowing. There's just so many things to it. And I also like harvesting. I think harvesting is good, but I think probably the weird one that I like is slurry spreading. I've always enjoyed that, especially when you've got the manure add-on, the manure extension. I think it's called that. I forgot the name of it from FS19, but the one where obviously it makes it a bit more realistic because you can have the hoses and the hose connections. Manure extension, I'm sure it's called that. That really does make a difference. So I'm looking forward to when that comes out on FS22 as well. So what's everyone else's favourite? Put it in the comment section what you enjoy the most in the game, or traditionally in FS19. Has that changed for FS22? Because I think things have improved, especially when it comes to how it feels, the immersion in the vehicles. They sound so much better, and I think some of the textures as well, especially when you're like tedding and using grass work with even with a pickup wagon, they look really good when the grass is being pulled through into the pickup wagon. So that might have improved grass work for you. But I do like when you get to these kind of months, June, and you're starting to do some grass work, and it can really be quite profitable, especially when you're aiming for silage. And with this it feels like we get more cuts now off grass as well. I mean, I'm using the GEO that Disturbed kindly made for anyone that's playing on Calmsden, so I think we might get a little bit less now, but if we get 2, I'll still be happy. I think 2 cuts is enough for us with this amount of field. We've got 4 fields, just missed a bit. Yeah, just missed a bit. Yeah, we got 4 fields, so when you think about it, if we cut 4 fields twice, that's going to be plenty hay and plenty even silage on the second cut, as long as we fertilise it, which is something we're going to need to do. Get some fertiliser on the ground. I will be using probably solid fertiliser because I don't think I've got enough slurry, and I still need to buy a slurry spreader. I think that slurry spreader and a water tank are going to be the priority. But yeah, I think we should get enough silage to, especially if I had a load of sheep as well. Let's say the cow barn was full as well. I think we'd still make enough from these 4 fields that we wouldn't need to really worry about being short on food. Now, I don't know when Maize Plus comes out, how that's going to change, but I hope it changes quite a bit. I hope grass now rots. I hope we find a way of doing that. I don't think they will, but who knows, they might find a way of doing that. And I know they've already announced, well, they give little sneak peeks, Alien Paul has, about some of the features or some of the extra crops that are coming in. There's loads of different types of feed types, extras on that side. I've seen carrots as well. So if I was going to guess, that means probably going to be onions again. And this is just Maize Plus. This is not the Terra Life that's going to be inbuilt into maps in the future. I think that's going to be later on in the year. But right now, we're a couple of weeks away. So maybe this time next week, we could be all playing Maize Plus, and we'll get a lot new feed types, and we'll be able to customise our TMR mixes a lot more. And it will change the way we feed our animals, which which is the best thing about Maze Plus for me. It improved the animal side so much. So we're nearly done with this field. As soon as it's done, like I said, I'll set up the course so the tedder's in here, and then we'll start mowing the second field. And then as soon as he's done tedding, we'll set up the windrow, and we'll just keep doing it like that. And at some point soon, I'll probably do a bit of a montage of the whole process. So that's going to be quite a big job to edit through to make a good montage that shows all that in 3 fields. But I will try my best. So the last little bit, I did miss a bit over there, so I'm going to go get that. But you can already tell straight away that we've got a lot more grass off this field. We really have. So let's just lift this up so we can actually move a bit more. And then I'll just put the front mower down for this. In fact, what I'll do is I'll fold the rear one up, because we're not going to need it for this little bit. And that is field 4. All done. So let's lift this up and we'll park it away in the next field, ready to go. And while we're doing, and then we'll go and jump into, in fact what I'll do is just fold it, unfold it. I don't know if it'll carry on, but now let me just show you as well the hay that I did in the last episode. Parked it all in here, parked it. I've put it all away in here. So there is a lot of space in here, but I find this to be a little bit awkward, especially when you filled up this row here. I mean, it'd be alright to do this bit, and probably this bit will be okay, but loading up from here, we're going to have to go in this direction. And then when you're in here with a load of bales, and clip these, it's easily done. So at least we've got them stored away. So first things first, let's go get the tedder. Already hooked up to it. Now what I will do is let's set up the course already. So we want number 4. So right, we need to create a job. Course play field work. You've seen me do this loads of times. We'll start from about there. Field position, stick it there. And multiple tools, 1. Number of headlands. Let's go 2. Keep it at 2. Start work on the centre. Headland corners. We'll go smooth, but we'll give it again a big headland overlap. And we don't need to miss any rows because it's nicely attached to the rear. And we generate the field course. And that's that. So we don't need to save that. We can do, but we don't need to. But we'll need to save the one that comes off the windrow for the baler. So let's go and set this going. I mean, I could have used auto drive, but it's not too far away. It's only here. Bring up the menu, and what we want to do, first waypoint, off you go. Job done. Simple as that. And now we've got to work on the farm, earn a bit of cash while we go and move the second one. So again, we're just going to go around the headland on this. Leave a bit of a gap. Right, so now I think it is a perfect time for me to stick in a bit of a montage of this at work. I'm going to try and get all the mowing done within it, and also all the tedding, all the windrowing, and even all the baling. And what I will probably do is cut back in when I'm using the autoload trailer, and we're going to park some of them bales away. So enjoy the montage, and I'll cut back in when it's all done.
up in your sight. You know I'm already with you. Treat me right. No, I'm as steady as a shaking light. You know it's real. You know it's real. Can't see the bright from the sky in the morning light. Light from the sky burns, and you see me come around from the other side. Come on and set the light in me, the light in me. Up in your sight, you know I'm already with you. Treat me right. No, I'm as steady as a shaking light. You know it's real. You know it's real. Can see the bright from the sky in the morning light. Light from the sky burns, and you see me come around from the other side. Come on and set the light in me, the light in me. Light from the sky, yeah, the light in me.
Right, so welcome back. Hopefully you've just enjoyed that montage. It's taken me probably about an hour and a half to get them fields done, and I had a lot of help from Courseplay, which made it a lot quicker as well. There was a lot of mowing, obviously, and yeah, a lot of everything really, especially the baling. The baling in Field 4 took quite some time due to the fact that the way that I worked it out on the course is it went uphill. And by doing that, obviously it took quite a bit. But we're now in the loading wagon and we're going to pick up some bales. We're going to try and store them just over here as well. We're going to keep them close so that there'll be plenty of hay down this end for the sheep when we get them. But I am happy with the amount of bales we got. Should we just have a quick look to see how many bales we got? That one? There we go. 51 bales. I've been playing for 3 hours and 45 minutes. 51 bales we got. That is a lot from these three fields, a massive jump. And these are around 7,500 litres per bale. So, a massive amount of hay. So what I'm going to just quickly do is pick up one load, we'll put it away, and then I'll probably put the rest of them away in between this episode and the next one. Just because it is, again, going to take a little bit of time. So hopefully in the next one, we'll be focusing primarily on the crop. Hopefully, I think it probably is going to be maybe canola first, which will make things a little bit easier. So I think that's the total amount we can have, which is pretty fine. There's 16 bales on here. I think you can hold a little bit more with a different configuration, but do you know what? When you think about it, 16 bales is plenty for us. So let's go and drop these off. Probably thinking about it now. Might be easy to go this direction. These Heston bales though, they are massive. They really are. May as well get the beacons on for this. And we'll swing in and we'll try our best. Well, the best we can do anyway. To maybe just go down here. Just clipped it a little bit there. But if we go down here and then try and drop them off through the gap, I'd say that's spot on. And I think we need to... There's going to be a limit, isn't there, to how far we can go here. So if we just drop them down. Now I think that is spot on. There we go. So, I mean, obviously it's a lot easier than doing it manual, but it's also very much neater. Now this is going to be tricky to get back out. I'll be honest, I have been contemplating moving these around, these sheds, within the Giants editor, and I actually did do it just to test out how it'd look, and I think I prefer it, but I haven't done it yet because it would cost some money in real life. So if I did do it within the Giants editor, I'd then have to simulate the cost of it. Let's try and swing that a little bit more. There we go. We just about got in and out of there. But we've got 16 bales stacked up, which is quite a lot. And yeah, like I said, they're 7,500 litres. So we really have got a massive amount of grass now. Now, the only thing I will say is if we did this again with silage, which means I'm going to have to fertilise these grounds again, because I think if we just have a quick look, they should be one stage. Yes, they are. So this one obviously still needs lime as well, but if we get rid of that, you can see that that's also one stage. So technically, we could fertilise all 4 of these fields, do some silage, and sell it all. Now, I wouldn't want to wrap it because of the fact that 3,500 litre bales with that McHale baler, and it is a lot of bales to store and then obviously transport when they're fermented. I really would prefer to put it in a bunker, but we're going to have to generate 30,000 before we can do that. So I'll probably think about what the plan is for that in between these episodes, and we'll come up with some probably, hopefully, efficient plan to get a lot of silage done to sell around January time, because I think last year, January, the price for silage was pretty good. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, because that really does help me out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.